again this week. I'm happy you're joining us. Before we get started, I have a chore for you to do. It's not really a chore, I guess, but I would like you to turn around. I want you to turn around. That's a direction. I want you to turn around so that you cannot see the screen that you're watching on. Now, no peeking, so you should be faced like this, so your back is towards the screen. And I don't want you looking at me. I don't want you doing this to see if you can see me. I don't want that to happen. So everyone should be turned around now so that you can't see me. No peeking. None. I see you. You're trying to peek. Don't do that, please. Last Sunday, we had a Zoom. And remember, no peeking. So last week at our Zoom, I got to see some of your faces, and it was great to see some of you. I also learned a little bit more about some of you that were on the Zoom. I learned what kind of activities you like to do outside of school and outside of when you're not doing Sunday school and doing things just with your family. I know some of you like to play baseball. Some of you do scouts, lots of different things that you do. It was great seeing you. If you didn't get to do the Zoom, that's okay. We have an event coming up. It's a family event at the church on October 24th. It is a pumpkin carving event. The pumpkins are going to be donated, and then we'll get together outside on the church lawn. I'll have tables set up, and you'll have the pumpkins, like I said, are donated. I do ask that every family brings their own carving tools because number one, I don't own enough carving tools so that everybody can share. And two, right now, because of COVID and all the guidelines we need to follow, we can't be sharing any equipment like knives or anything like that. This, like I said, is a family event. So I ask that families come together and have fun carving pumpkins. I did send out a sign up for that. It's just a Google form. If you don't have access to that, you can always just email me and tell me how many pumpkins you're going to want to carve. That way, and it's just so that we can get an idea of how many pumpkins we need donated. We certainly don't want to ask a business to donate pumpkins and have them donate 50 pumpkins if we need 5 pumpkins. We don't want to take advantage of anyone in that sense. So, but if at the last minute your plans change, please, even if you didn't sign up, please still come. I hope to see you all. And remember, no peeking. You should all be turned around. I ask you, that's what I told you to do. So please, no peeking. You're all facing away from the camera or away from the screen. I'm sorry. Also, there are 3 ways that you can join us, St. Paul's, in worship each Sunday. One is on our YouTube service, which is on our YouTube channel each week. The second is at 8 a.m. every Sunday morning. We have a communion on the lot service. And we have a 9:30 service in our sanctuary where we do ask you to wear masks and socially distance in the sanctuary. All right, now you may turn around so that you can see my face again. I hope that whole time you were turned backwards. Was it hard to stay turned around and not look at me while I was talking about the pumpkin carving event and ways you can worship at St. Paul's? Probably. Sometimes I'm sure your parents ask you to do chores at home. Those chores might be picking up toys, fixing your bed, just cleaning up your room. Those of you that are a little older and maybe don't have too many toys to pick up anymore, but I'm sure there's clothes or socks or laundry to put away. It might be emptying the dishwasher or loading the dishwasher. It might be dusting or vacuuming, cleaning up dog poop in the backyard if you have a dog, cleaning the cat litter. Ew, that's a chore at my house that nobody likes to do, is cleaning the cat litter. All of those chores are things that are part of being a family, and we all need to do chores to be a part of a family because they have to get done. And I will say that when I tell any one of my kids, Mick, Tommy, or Katie, it's time somebody has to empty the dishwasher today, they all go, I think it's Katie's turn. I think it's Mick's turn. They discuss whose turn it is because it has to be fair and they have to all take the same amount of time, do it at the same amount of times. But they do, and somebody ends up doing it. Or if I say, Tommy, you need to clean the cat litter, he might complain a little bit, but then he does it. I'm sure you're like that with chores as well. I'm sure your parents are smiling right now if they're listening, saying, yeah, that happens at our house too. If any of you have children that do chores just the first time they're asked, please tell me your trick, because I would love to know how to get my kids to do chores the very first time. And the reason we don't like to be told to do chores is because it makes us feel like we're not in control. Like, I want to do it when I want to do it, not when somebody else tells me to do it. And that's hard. Just like when you were faced away from the screen, it wasn't easy to stay turned around because it was just uncomfortable. You wanted to see what was going on, see what I was talking about. You wanted to probably see my face, or maybe you didn't. But it's natural if we have a screen, a TV screen or a computer screen that a video's on, we want to see it because we know there's something to watch. So that was sort of a chore I gave you today to see if you could do it, to make you kind of get the idea of how it made you feel. In today's story, we're going to be talking about the people of Israel and how they had to do something much worse than some of the chores we had to do. They were actually slaves in Egypt. A slave is someone that is told where they will live and what they have to do, what kind of work they have to do. In this case, the people of Egypt told them that they had to make mud bricks. So bricks like you see on your house, or maybe some of you have brick patios or something like that. Or I think many of the schools are made of brick, have bricks somewhere around their school as the side of their school. Bricks used to be handmade of mud and straw. And these Israelites were slaves, and they had to make a certain number of bricks each day. So each slave had to make, say, 65 bricks each day. But then eventually something happened to make things even worse. And that's when God decided to come in and help. So let's listen to our story to hear what happens in our story. But before we read our story, let's fold our hands and close our eyes for prayer. Dear God, we know that you are powerful and help people. Thank you for keeping that promise for us today. Help us now to hear today's story and learn from it. Amen. This week's story is in the book of Exodus. It is the second book in the Bible. So it's right after Genesis. We had been working in Genesis, that we had all our other stories in the first book of the Bible in Genesis. So today you're just going to page a few more pages to the book of Exodus. And it's chapter 5, verses 1 through chapter 6, verses 13. This week, I'm actually going to read from the actual Bible. I feel that this story has a little more details that I felt were important. The Spark Story Bible is a great story. It is called this one's easier to see. Free from Slavery. So if any of you do have the Spark Story Bible at home and want to read it on your own, that's absolutely fine. But we're going to read it from the actual Bible this week because I feel that the Spark Story Bible left out some details that I thought I wanted to make sure all of you heard. So we're going to be reading from Exodus chapter 5, 1 through chapter 6, verse 13. I want you to think about how the Israelites were treated during this story. Afterward, Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, "This is the Lord, the God of Israel says, let my people go so that they may hold a festival to me in the desert." Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go." Then they said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Now let us take a 3-day journey into the desert to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God, or he may strike us with plagues or with the sword." But the king of Egypt said, "Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from the labor? Get back to work." Then Pharaoh said, "Look, the people of the land are now numerous, and you are stopping them from working." That same day, Pharaoh gave this order to the slave drivers and foremen in charge of the people. "They are no longer to supply the people with straw for making bricks. Let them go and gather their own straw, but require them to make the same number of bricks as before. Don't reduce the quota." The quota is how many they have to make each day. "They are lazy, and that is why they are crying out. Let us go and sacrifice to our God. Make the work harder for the men so that they keep working and pay no attention to lies." Then the slave drivers and the foremen went out and said to the people, "This is what Pharaoh says. I will not give you any more straw. Go and get your own straw wherever you can find it, but your work will not be reduced at all." So what that means there is that before they had to mix the straw and the mud together to make the bricks. And they were given that by Egypt, the straw, and they were given the supplies. Well, now they were no longer going to be given the straw. So now they had to go find straw and the supplies, bring it back, and then make the bricks. And they still had to make the same number of bricks each day, which would be hard. I'll continue reading. "So the people scattered all over Egypt to gather stubble to use for straw. The slave drivers kept pressing them, saying, 'Complete the work required of you for each day, just as when you had straw.' The Israelite foremen appointed by the Pharaoh's slave drivers were beaten and were asked, 'Why didn't you meet your quota of bricks yesterday or today as before?' Then the Israelite foreman went and appealed to Pharaoh. 'Why have you treated your servants this way? Your servants are given no straw, yet we are told, make bricks. Your servants are being beaten, but the fault is with your own people.' Pharaoh said, 'Lazy, that's what you are, lazy. This is why you keep saying, "Let us go and sacrifice to the Lord." Now, get to work. You will not be given any straw, yet you must produce your full quota of bricks." The Israelite foremen realized they were in trouble when they were told, "You are not to reduce the number of bricks required of you each day." When they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting to meet them. And they said, "May the Lord look upon you and judge you. You have made us a stench to Pharaoh, and his officials have put a sword in their hand to kill us." Moses returned to the Lord and said, "O Lord, why have you brought trouble upon these people? Is this why you sent me? Ever since I went to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble upon this people, and we have not rescued your people at all." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. Because of my mighty hand, he will let them go. Because of my mighty hand, he will drive them out of his country." God also said to Moses, "I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty. But by my name, the Lord, I did not make myself known to them. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, and where they live as aliens. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians are enslaving, and I remembered my covenant. Therefore, as the Israelites, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with mighty acts of judgment. I will take you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. And I will bring you to the land I swore with uplifted hand to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to you as a possession. I am the Lord. Moses reported this to the Israelites, but they did not listen to him because of their discouragement and cruel bondage. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go out of his country." But Moses said to the Lord, "If the Israelites will not listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me? Since I speak with fallen lips." Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron about the Israelites and Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he commanded them to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. So by the end of the story, God had come in and told Moses and Aaron to go talk to the Pharaoh and say, "Look, you've got to let the people go." And then the story then continues, and you'll hear it if you would continue reading in the Bible, and you are certainly able to do that, read more than what this part of the story is about. You'll find that they did eventually let the people go. So the Pharaohs did not treat the Israelites very nicely. He expected them to make the same number of bricks, whether they had the straw right there to use, or if they had to take time out to go get the straw. I think, how would that make you feel? That would be really hard and really frustrating. If you have Play-Doh at home, I would love for you to try this activity as well. But I have my friend Isabel here. She's actually one of our confirmation students at church, but she also lives next door. So she's going to help me out today to do this activity, but you may certainly do it at home. We are going to have her make bricks out of Play-Doh. So I gave her some purple Play-Doh, and I'm going to give her 30 seconds to see how many bricks she can make out of Play-Doh. All right, so I have my handy dandy timer here, and we are going to time her. So are you ready, Isabel?
Yes.
All right, I will tell you when to start, and she will start making bricks for 30 seconds. Go. Make sure you make them right. Make them perfect. 20 seconds left. Keep working hard. Oh, good job. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. So how many bricks did you get made?
5.
5 bricks. And I'm going to bring her bricks over here so we can see what her bricks look like. So there she has her bricks. And as the time got less, she got, like, they were really nice and square, and then she got a little lazy there. So now put all your bricks and put them back in with the other Play-Doh. I am going to take away time. This time she's only going to have 20 seconds. How many bricks did you make?
5.
5. She made 5 bricks the last time in 30 seconds. So this time I'm going to take away 10 seconds, just like the Israelites, the Pharaoh took away the straw and they had to go find it. Well, I'm going to take away time to see, but she still has to make 5.
Yeah.
5 bricks. Let's see if she can make 5 bricks in 20 seconds. All right. Now the pressure's on this time because now you have a goal. You have to make 5 in 20 seconds. 20 seconds isn't very long. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Think you can do it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You ready? Go. Now make sure they look like bricks. Don't be lazy. 9. 5 seconds left. She only got 3 bricks made. So when we took time away, or just like the Pharaoh took away the straw to make the bricks, it's hard to still make the same number. So just like that, that's why God came in and helped the Israelites become free and not to be slaves anymore. Thank you very much, Isabel.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That was a really fun activity we did with Isabel, wasn't it? To see how she could get the bricks done in a short amount of time. But then when I made the time less, so I took something away, in the case, just like the story, they took the straw away, I took time away and wanted her to make the same number of bricks, but she couldn't do it. I put a lot of pressure on her to get that done. You can understand why God would tell Pharaoh to let his people go and not be treated that way. Which is what happened at the end of our story today. God said, you need to let my people go. And eventually he did. The Pharaoh did let the people go. So this week, you have your pamphlets again. My bigger pamphlets that come with the stickers, you're using these stickers right here. And again, they get filled in down here and over here. This front one goes to the tune of Go Tell It on the Mountain. And you can sing, it's kind of retelling the story that we heard. If you're not interested in singing, you can certainly have somebody read that to you. And then there's a secret message. And on the back, it talks about and shows how they make old bricks. Now bricks are made by machinery and things like that, but this shows kind of how what they would use and how they would go about making bricks. My older kids, you have the smaller pamphlet. Definitely read this story. This always brings it kind of back to real life. Sometimes it's hard to hear the Bible story and say, well, what does that mean for me today? This paragraph, or these couple paragraphs, this short story usually helps you with that. Here's a puzzle for you to do. If you want to email me to find out if your answers are correct, I gladly will give you the answers, because I know sometimes that's hard. And then there's always the fun facts that are fun. And Faith on the Go. I don't think I've talked about this, but that kind of gives you some ideas of some things you can do as the week goes on to try and live a little bit more, maybe a little more Christian-like, because we all sin, we all make mistakes, and that's okay, but we always want to be focused on being a better Christian and a better person. All right? So before we go today, let's fold our hands and close our eyes. Dear God, we know you hear our cries for help. We know you want people to be free. Help people all around the world to be free to love you. Amen.